As a middle school teacher, I'm often asked by people, why do I always tell my kids that I love them every single day? Well, the answer goes all the way back to when I was 6 years old.
Hi, Power of Positivity. My name is Donovan Taylor Hall, and today I'm going to share with you one of the most important memories of my life and one of the most important love lessons I've learned.
I was on the bus on my way home from kindergarten, so excited to show my dad this invitation I'd made for him. My school had planned this Father's Day event where we would be doing a bunch of activities out in the field. I came running into the house, he was working at the table, I ran up to him and I showed him the folder. He said, "That's nice." And I asked him, "Well, are you going to be able to go?" And he looked at me and said, "I'm the commander of a hospital. I don't have time to go play with you in a field." I didn't want him to know that I was disappointed, but obviously I was really sad, so I said okay, and I walked away. About 2 weeks later, we had the event, and the staff had grossly underestimated how many kids weren't able to bring a dad to the event. So they had to create a hangout zone where the kids who didn't have their dads would sit and eat ice cream until an adult was available to play with them in one of the activities. I remember sitting there next to this kid who was eating this ice cream bar, and it was smeared all over his face, and I was so disgusted by him when his jaw dropped. And I noticed that the whole field had gotten quiet. And I looked over and I saw that this 18-passenger van had pulled up. The door slid open, and all of these soldiers in full attire came rushing out, and the last one to come was my dad with his big aviators that I loved so much. I knew immediately that he had pulled a prank on me. So I ran up to him and he picked me up and I said, "You said you couldn't come." And he looked at me and said, "I never said that. Why wouldn't I come? You made that great invitation for me." And he pulled his aviators down and he looked at me and he said, "You're my son. I love you." Now, he had planned this. The school knew that they were coming, but what's really cool about this is all the soldiers that he brought were soldiers who were stationed far away from home, and they were away from their kids. So he gave them the day off to come play at the field day event, and every single kid had an adult to play with during the activities. What's even more special about this is I found out later that my dad already knew at that point that he had leukemia, and that within a year of that event, my dad had passed away. So he had made a promise to himself that he was going to do as many things with me that he could, so I would always know that he loved me and I would always remember how much he cared. So when I'm in my classroom and I'm with my students, I always tell them that I love them because I want them to remember that feeling. And I never know who needs to hear it and who needs to be told that. More than anything, I want my kids to remember what it feels like to be loved, what it feels like to be cared for, because that is the greatest lesson of all.